Hello, my name's Carl and this is the Strawbyte Workshop, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how I made this, a fancy circular saw guide. So one of the things that you need to be careful when selecting timber for this project is to make sure you pick a piece of plywood that has a good factory edge. Something that's straight, that is free from dents and dings and damage to the ply itself. I'm not too worried about voids, but it just has to be straight. This is going to be the fence against which the saw rides when we make cuts with the jig. And so with that in mind, let's get cutting some timber.
A cut the length of the board along the factory edge creates a strip that will act as our guide's fence. Pilot holes are drilled in the strip for the screws that will clamp the two pieces together while gluing. A thin layer of glue is applied to the strip. Now drive some 12mm screws to hold it all together. Next, we run the saw along the fence to create the guide's edge, taking it slowly so that the cut is parallel and straight. With the screws removed from the back of the jig, we can run the board through the table saw. Here I'm marking out the holes for the clamps. The first hole is 20mm from the end, and then the centres are 50mm apart. And finally to the drill press, where with a 20mm Forstner bit and a backing board I drill the holes. Lots of holes.
Okay, so the guide is finished. Changes since you last saw it is a reference mark at one end. It's just a reminder to make sure that I put the clamp with just a few inches of overhang at the beginning of the saw cut. We're using these Festool clamps. I got these off of eBay. They're pretty inexpensive. And I've had them a little while actually. I bought them for something else and that didn't really work out. And these are perfect for clamping this guide through these 20mm holes. So the clamp just goes up and we just tighten the clamp on. And the same on this end. And these clamps have worked out better than I expected because they can be put in from the front just by hooking them up quickly. So there we have it, and let's run the saw across. Here's the saw. Just offer it up. Dust collection on. there we go. A nice clean cut across this piece of timber. So I'm really quite chuffed with my saw guide. I've used it a couple of times already, and it's really proving very useful. The combination of this with the Festool clamps makes this super versatile. I don't need a batten on the back to act as a sort of right angle for it. I can just position this up, clamp it in place, and you know, we're good to go. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this short video. Another shop project. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Check me out on Instagram as well, where you'll find out what's coming up in the workshop. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell button. That's a great way to be notified of the next video. So for now, from the workshop, cheerio.